So I was just doing some thinking last night on the chicken hutch that we have here, or chicken coop roost design of some sort. And you know, every night I have to come out here. Right now there's been one time that all the chickens were in the hutch. We've got a little ramp for them. Yeah, it's just a 2x4, but some of them act like they really struggle going up this ramp, and other ones act like they would just rather roost out on top of a gate. I come out here every night. There's usually one Americana on this gate. There's usually 3 or 4 Rhode Island Reds and one white one. I don't know if she's a Buff Orpington or what she is, but it's always the same ones that are out and they're on top of the gates, and I think that's just their preference, is to be on top of the gate. But it got me thinking anyway more about how to build them an open roost that is, you know, predator proof, right? And how to situate that here in the barn area such that it's out of the way and would work and fit our needs. So what I was thinking on was just, just a basic roost bar. I'm sorry I keep rubbing my nose. Don't know, all of a sudden my nose wanted to run. Just a basic roost bar like this. But I got to thinking about what our actual predators in this area are. Within this pen, in theory, a coyote could jump those panels and jump in here. We've never seen it. Knock on wood, we've never had any issues with wild dogs or coyotes in here messing with the goats. I don't think they'll come and mess with the chickens either. My biggest concern is raccoons. I know we've got plenty of raccoons out here in the woods. We haven't seen any sign of them in here yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time before one of them finds these chickens and tries to get them. So the current hutch, just as a reminder, it's just 2 foot by 2 foot by 8 foot long, and the only purpose of this is to lock the chickens in for security at night. There's no nest boxes in here. There's a feeder in here just because we didn't have anywhere else to put it. But really, the chickens go out every day. They scratch, they eat. We put maybe 1 scoop of food in here every other day. That's about it. Otherwise, they're totally free ranging, pasture raising, whatever you want to call it. But they're out here in the goat pen eating bugs and flies. I mean, yesterday I saw them chasing horseflies, which was awesome because the horseflies have been really bad this year. And I see the goat standing there kind of, shaking, trying to get the horseflies off of them. And I see the chicken race by and go after the horseflies. So they're doing their job to try to get rid of pests as much as they can. Anyway, so, oh, hang on, I got kids coming to talk to me. So I had to let my kids in to come play with the chickens, actually. So anyway, what I want to come up with, the thing is, I have to come down here every single night and I have to shut this little door. I have to catch a few chickens that are out. I have to come down every morning, open the door back up to let them back out. And I'd really rather not have to do that. Here we go. Here's another one. It's open, honey. Just pull it open. It's unlatched. Look at you. Look at you. Good job. They went around the other way. Go get the chickens. So I got to thinking, like I said, about what predators I have to deal with, and raccoons is the only one that I'm really concerned about. So my thought with raccoons is, they can climb, they can jump, and honestly, they can stand on top of each other to make a pyramid to try to reach something up high. They know how to work together. So looking at our current design here, really it is pretty raccoon proof. I don't know if a raccoon, I have no idea how high a raccoon can jump, but I don't know if one can jump from the ground. This is about 4.5 feet. I don't know if one can jump up there. See, at night we take the board out, right? So even if the board wasn't actually in the door, let's just say the board goes away. I don't know that a raccoon can jump that high, okay? Let's assume that they can't. So the other way that they could get into this coop if the door was left open was they would have to climb the wall somehow to then jump over there. Now they could potentially climb up that post and then scoot across on this stringer here to scamper up onto the board. Maybe, potentially. I don't think they could. But there's an easy fix for that. If I just put sheet metal on the inside of the wall as well as the outside, they can't climb a sheet metal wall. It's just too slick, right? So what I really want to do, maybe as a test, is I want to hang just a simple roost bar, nothing else. Because the chickens, some of them walk up this board, some of them fly up here, and I know they can fly this high. I know they can. I watch them do it every day. So what I'm thinking is if I put a roost bar up here, you know, about 6 feet high, just as high as I can make it under this roof, okay? High enough that a chicken can fly up and stand on top of it. That's my goal. Put the roost bar up there. If I have to, put metal sheeting on the bottom of this roof as well, so the little raccoon can't, like, I don't know if they're capable of, you know, walking like on monkey bars like people can. But if I was to put metal above the roost bar so it's slick, put metal on the wall behind the roof bar so it's slick, the only other thing then would be the question of whether or not a raccoon, if they can form a pyramid, if they can stand on each other's backs enough that they could stand on the ground and one could stack up and reach up and grab a chicken's leg. Hang on, I've got to deal with another busted gate. What's going on? You want to go in there and see Sonny?
No, I want to go take.
Oh, you want to go see Caroline with the chickens. Caroline, why didn't you let her in?
I'm going to give her the seed.
Okay, so last question, yeah, is whether or not the chickens can stack, or whether or not the raccoons can stack themselves up to make a pyramid and reach up and grab a chicken's leg. And so I think the simplest solution for that is, you know, you've seen how people do their bird feeders, and they put that little kind of upside down pan on the pole so a squirrel can't get around it. I think you could do the same thing, you know, with an upside down pan hanging under the roost bar. So say this is the roost bar here, you've got just a sloping metal pan that's coming down to both sides of the roost bar. Make it a steep enough slope that the raccoons can't get a grip on it, try to climb up it, and also steep enough that the chicken poo would slide off, because they're going to sit up there on the roost and poop. So that's kind of my thought process on it. I really truly think if you did that, you know, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if you've tried this and you still had varmints get to your chickens, but that seems to me like the simplest thing. You know, when you think about how chickens do it in the wild, they fly up every night and they roost in the trees. That's what they do. Now, can a raccoon climb up in a tree and walk out on the limb and get them? Absolutely. But in nature, that's their safest place, is to be up off the ground, you know, as high up in a tree as they can comfortably fly. I mean, even turkeys, like, you know, most people don't realize, but turkeys fly and roost in the trees. We always see turkeys running on the ground, but they fly and roost in the trees at night. Wild turkeys do. You know, so anyway, I'm thinking, you know, I could put it along any one of these walls that has metal already on it and just hang the roost bar out, like I said, off the wall about 2 feet. And the other reason with that too that I really want to do that is if you guys go and watch, you know how we had all the goat pens set up in here when we were kidding out, was we had pens all underneath where this chicken coop is at right now. And if we rebuild those same pens this fall, it's going to be a really big pain in the butt to get into those pens to work with the goats and also have that chicken coop, you know, that you're bumping your head on. So I'd really like to minimize the chicken coop almost down to nothing. And you know, like I said, if I could make it too rough, if I could make it just a bar, it'd be so much easier to work around. You know, as a kid growing up, we had a big long bar, just a piece of 1-inch steel pipe that was hung with baling wire from the roof of the chicken coop. But there was still a chicken coop. There was still a fenced-in area, a pen that we closed the door every night, open the door every morning. And that's what I really want to get away from, is having to babysit that chicken door. I know there's automatic doors that open and close. Of course, the automatic door doesn't do you any good if you still have to come out here and... What? Oh, I love you too. Automatic door doesn't do any good if you still have to come out here every night and catch a few chickens to put them in. So yeah, I think just a simple straight piece of pipe and make the walls and the ceiling slick enough that the raccoons can't climb them, and make that bar high enough that the raccoons can't jump up to it. I don't know. You guys tell me. Tell me. I'm going to try to see about what resources I have that I could actually try to build this thing. I mean, at this point, I could just hang a piece of, you know, 1.25 PVC or whatever, 1-inch PVC, and just put wires every couple of feet. But that'll be good too if I can hang it from the ceiling. It'll sway a little bit, when the chickens jump on it, but they'll get used to that. But that way I don't have any posts going down to the floor either, which is good because I want to keep this floor open as much as I can.
I know, they did that.
So anyway, just something I was thinking on, doing a little scheming and dreaming, I guess. Like I said, y'all tell me if you've tried it and you haven't had it work, you still had a varmint somehow get around it. I would really appreciate that. Give me a better idea on how to maybe redesign mine. But I just wanted to share that idea with you. I thought about it last night, and I was thinking about it going to sleep, because that's what I do. I think about these ridiculous things as I'm trying to fall asleep. So I wanted to talk about it this morning during the daylight. I wanted to look things over a little more, but to me it seems viable. Y'all let me know what you think.